off County Trunk Highway Triple V, and that's in Sheridan Township, which is in the northwest corner of Dunn County. About 12 minutes later, deputies and first responders arrived on scene. They discovered a black SUV that had been intentionally driven off the road about 50 yards into a standing cornfield. Inside the SUV, responding deputies found a total of 4 occupants, all deceased. Through our investigation, those 4 people have been identified, and their names were released earlier today after all of their family had been notified and they had time to notify other family members. Those victims are Natasha Flug Presley, 30 years old, Matthew Pettis, 26 years old, Lois Foreman III, 35 years old, and Jasmine Sturm, 30 years old, all from the Twin Cities area. Autopsies were performed on all 4 victims yesterday by Ramsey County Medical Examiner's office, and the preliminary investigation shows that all 4 victims died from gunshot wounds. My team is working hard on a thorough investigation with many other assisting agencies to bring a swift end to this investigation to ensure justice is served for these 4 victims as soon as possible. As our investigation has progressed, we believe that the suspect or suspects in this case left the area after abandoning the SUV in the cornfield. That's why we no longer feel that there is a concern for local residents' safety. Initially, it was unknown if the suspect or suspects in this case were still in the area on foot. We are now confident that the suspect or suspects had left the area before the SUV and bodies were ever discovered. Our hearts go out to the family and friends of these victims. I wish I could release more information and details of our investigation, but we have to balance the public's interest to know the details with running the risk of harming our investigation and losing evidence on building a strong homicide case. We will release more information as this investigation progresses and arrests are made. I will now take a few questions.
Sure. There was an announcement on Facebook from the police department in Menominee that they're looking for 3 individuals that broke into a DNR facility and stole a truck. The timing seems to be lining up with this incident as well.
Completely unrelated. Yep. There was a question back here.
Where do you believe the suspects are headed toward if they're no longer in the area?
We don't believe they were locals, so we went. We believe they went back to their home base.
And you're saying they. Do you know how many suspects there are at this point?
We don't.
Anything you can say, Sheriff, about a possible motive here?
That one is a mystery. No, we do not know a motive yet. In the back?
Yeah, can you say whether the victims were killed here in Dunn County or if they were brought?
I cannot say that right now.
Sheriff, how many times were they each shot?
Pardon me?
How many times were they each shot?
We are not disclosing that information.
Sheriff, are you able to explain, I'm guessing there was nobody in the front seat, in the driver's seat of the car. Where were the victims located inside the car when they were found?
Those of us that were on scene know that, and the suspect knows that, or suspects know that. We're not releasing that information.
Sheriff, any idea why, if they had a connection to this area? You said the victims are from the Twin Cities. Anything that would not...
No. We can't find any connection to this area other than possibly randomly driving out of the Twin Cities.
Do you know any relationship between the victims?
Pardon me?
Do you know any relationship between the victims?
2 of the victims were brother and sister, and one was a boyfriend of one of the other victims, to our knowledge.
Do you have any kind of a timeline or estimate when the victims were killed versus when they were found?
No, not specifically. I'll give you a ballpark. It was less than 24 hours.
And it's my understanding that they may have been seen in St. Paul in some establishments over there on Saturday night. Any confirmation or anything you can add to that?
No, I can't confirm that. It's part of our investigation that we're still working on. So we're still trying to flesh some of that stuff out. Yes, sir.
Sheriff, who called? Who found it?
Farmer in the area.
Sure. There was, at one point, there was a discussion of possibly 2 SUVs, and some of the locals in the area have said that there might have been 2 SUVs at the gas station at Wheeler.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out the validity of that information, and we're working on that. That's why I put out, I believe it was last night, that we may be seeking information of the 2 vehicles being seen. You know, we'd like to get more information on that if people actually witnessed, you know, multiple vehicles with Minnesota plates may stand out to somebody that aren't, you know, Wheeler's a pretty small town, so it may have caught people's attention.
How many agencies do you have working on this investigation?
Too many to count.
Minnesota BCA, I would assume.
We certainly have them involved because of the residents, or our victims' residents being in that area.
The first SUV where victims were found, who was that car registered to?
I'm not disclosing that right now. Yes, ma'am.
What type of guns were you measuring?
And I can honestly answer, I don't know. I don't know. And I wouldn't disclose that if I did know. So.
I'm trying to find the location, remember the location of the crime scene. I've heard it described as behind the town hall in Sheridan, and also you said just off of Triple V.
Right.
Are those the same area?
That's, yep. So I don't know who described it as behind the town hall. It would be, I guess if you were looking at it from Highway F, it would be east of the town hall, Sheridan Town Hall, which is on County Trunk Highway Triple V.
Okay. V is in boy?
V is in Victor.
V is, thank you.
Yes,
Sure. One of the releases that you put out was seeking anyone who potentially might have given a ride to or been asked for a ride from an individual in the area. Did anybody respond to that?
We've gotten a lot of tips of different people walking in the area from, you know, all the way from Elk Mound area to, you know, north of Colfax and stuff. None of those reports or tips have panned out to be anything related. But no other local residents have notified us that they were approached or asked for a ride out of the area.
Do you know if those suspects left in a car or on foot?
Well, we suspect they left in a vehicle because we don't think we don't believe they're from the area, therefore we believe they left in a vehicle.
Have you learned anything from surveillance video yet? Maybe highway cameras or businesses that they may have driven by?
We're still working on a lot of that information to come in. We're still waiting for a lot of that stuff to come in. You know, reviews of highway cameras, bridge cameras, things like that, you know, could take several weeks to go through all that information to review. So, yeah, there's certainly information out there we're waiting on and hoping to gain some more information from.
Sheriff, in an overall sense, are you getting many tips or leads today coming in about the case?
Yeah, a lot of them. One of my deputies is fielding all the calls coming in, all the tips coming in, and kind of passing them off to my investigation team. And you know, the validity of them coming in, I don't know, and I can't honestly answer. But we feel like we've developed some good information from the tips, and we certainly want them to continue.
What about a time of death?
A time of death? That's we don't know, and I'd be lying if I told you or gave you an idea. That's something that's not as scientific as they make out on CSI. It's a best guess estimate.
Sheriff, you said you believe the suspects are not from the area. The victims aren't from the area. What leads you to believe the suspects are not from the area?
There's no connection to this area. So, yeah, I don't know how, we can't suspect somebody locally of randomly killing 4 people from the Twin Cities.
Can you speak to the rarity of something like this happening here in Dunn County, specifically that township? I'm sure this is highly unusual for that area.
It's highly unusual for this area. Obviously, We've had homicides in the last several years, but something of this magnitude. I've been here I'm working on my 33rd year working for Dunn County, and this is a first.
Is there any indication that there is some sort of organized criminal activity involved?
No, not to our knowledge.
Is there an indication of drugs being involved?
Not as a motive or anything specific to that. It very well could be, and that could be discovered through our investigation.
I'm sorry, so you do have suspects? You were looking at?
Well, we're investigating kind of all acquaintances and stuff, so
Okay.
kind of everybody's a suspect at this point.
Okay.
So we haven't nailed down anything in particular that, and obviously it'd be harmful to our case if we
Yeah.
did, and so we're looking at everybody and every possibility.
Yeah.
So
The vehicle in question, is it new enough to have some sort of OnStar or tracking device that you might be able to pull information from?
we're certainly looking at all options, everything from victim cell phones to, certainly anything we can track. One more.
As a resident of northern Dunn County myself, what is your degree of certainty that the suspects are no longer in the area?
A very high degree of certainty. We are confident that this was a place that these victims were randomly brought to. So, all right, we'll release more information as we can. Hopefully, arrests will be made soon, and we can certainly update you with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
You bet.